Hey folks, it's Keith, Victor Echo 3 Sierra Victor Quebec, also known as the Shaky Key, back with another video. What I want to talk about today is that emphasis we have on the first contact. Oh my goodness, it's everything. All right, everything you study, it's all towards making that first contact. And what I find from comments I get from people on my videos, from emails I get, from just discussions I have with some newer operators, not old veterans, but newer ops, a lot of them are feeling the same thing. A lot of them are having the same issues. So our focus for so many people is on getting on the air. It's one of the most stressful events they're going to go through. But as the title of this video says, it's not about the first time. In reality, it's going to come down to what happens after you've made your first contact. Now, there are a lot of organizations out there that will cover off a lot of what I say here. There are also a lot of others that don't. And there's an awful lot of people who are studying on their own, so they're not exposed to any of this. So these are just things that we could look at that might encourage people to stay. You keep doing Morse code. Don't walk away from it. So it's really a general discussion of that, and I very often use the expression, or the word, I should say, not expression, teach. It's probably not even the right words. Perhaps the best word would be show. Show our new ops how to do this. Anyways, let's get into the video. Feel free to disagree. I have no problems with that as well. Here we go. So what I want to focus on today is the extra stress, the drama that we put on people who are learning Morse code, and all of a sudden they have to make that first contact, and suddenly it's a big deal. So you study, you take all your numbers, your letters, whatever, and now, oh boy, I got to make that first contact, and it's a huge deal. Should it be? I don't think so. I think that's a mistake. I think it's a mistake a lot of organizations make. It should never be a big deal about getting on the air. It should be a progression, right? You learn your letters, you learn your numbers, you learn your basic abbreviations and what have you, and then you just flip on the radio and go on and find someone to talk to. Now that's not the way a lot of people do it now. But for those of us who are my age and who remember taking Morse code back in the 70s and the 80s, and I'm going to say even the early 90s, we never worried about that part. Getting on the air wasn't a big deal. We took our courses. Most of us, it was done in a classroom with 30 other people and oscillators, which is lots of fun. And you took your classes, and then your instructor said, good luck. And you went home and you found someone to talk to. Now, in those days, it was relatively easy because the American novice bands were around. Remember, you needed, was it 5 words a minute or something, and 10 words a minute there, and we had something similar in Canada. So you could tune in the American novice bands and listen to some absolutely awful Morse code being sent, and mistake after mistake after mistake. But nobody cared. Whereas now it's like, oh, everybody's got to be perfect. You've got to do this exactly right. Make sure you know that protocol and don't make mistakes. Did we back then? No. We certainly learned from any mistakes we made, and that was the key thing. But the drama centering around getting on the air wasn't the issue. Today it is. Today we take operators, new operators, and you say, here, we'll put you in a class and we'll get you on the air and get your first contact. So you get your first contact and everybody pats you on the back. Wow, you've done a wonderful job. That's what they're saying. And what's that operator thinking? The operator's thinking, oh my God, was that stressful? Oh my goodness, was that awful? Oh my goodness, all the mistakes I made. I was awful. I sent really crappy code. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. So one side, an organization is saying, wow, you were wonderful. And the operator, no, I wasn't wonderful at all. That, to me, is the issue. I think we need to face the fact that this is a real issue for many new operators, right? We've got them to that point, they've made their first contact, and then that's it. They're on their own. You would be surprised at the comments. I was talking to one person the other day, and he had made 7 or 8 contacts, and he was stressing out because he was still at around 10 words per minute. Who cares, right? Don't worry. We do put a lot of emphasis on speed now, right? It's speed. You're going to learn at this speed, then you're going to learn, at a different speed. And yes, you can go all sorts of speeds, all the way up into whatever, the 40s, the 50s, and so on. Really, who cares? If that's your aim in Morse code, go for it. But I suspect for the vast majority of operators, all they want to do is just get on and have a conversation, maybe go into a contest, maybe go into some of these organizations like the Straight Key Century Club, collect membership numbers, get awards, go activate a park or chase parks in POTA and so on. They don't need the speed. They're going to get there eventually, because once you're on the air, and as you get better and more relaxed on the air, and the keyword there is relaxed, your speed will pick up. Your comprehension of people at higher speeds will pick up. You should be listening to higher speed Morse code just for that purpose, so that you can begin to identify it. But that is an issue for new operators. And also I've had people, sit back and say, I blew my first contact so badly. I don't know if I want to go back. So what? Go back and have fun. And that's something we have to teach these new operators, apparently. And I use that a little sarcastically. We have to teach them how to have fun. Don't worry about the speed. Don't be ashamed to tell people what speed you can actually do. Now, in many of the organizations, and I'm going to use the SKCC because that's one I spend a lot of time with. So go in there, post your call sign, put QRS beside it. I've seen people put QRS. I've seen people put, beside their call sign, less than 10 words per minute, please. Or someone else put in the other day was 8 to 10 words per minute, please. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid to tell the other operator that, hey, I'm not a speed demon. I just do this nice and slow and have fun. And if you happen to be in an exchange where the other operator is sending, who knows, 15, 20 words per minute and you're at 8 to 10, don't be afraid to tell the other operator that you're QRS and please slow down. And if they don't, and they insist on sending fast, you don't have to talk to them, right? You can set your own standards as to what speed you want to go at. And as a new operator, that's very, very important. You've got to get some calls out of the way. You've got to get used to answering people, used to calling people, all those little things. And in the end, your objective is to have fun and to stay at it. So how do we do that? What do we not teach you? So let's look at some of the things you can do on your own, and we'll go from there. So I guess my first point is, and this is something you need to do. You're not going to be taught this. This is something you as an operator have to do. Decide that whatever speed you're going to be at, you're going to send the best Morse code possible. So if you're at 5 words per minute, 10 words per minute, 15, 20, 25, whatever, the speed that you are at, try and send the very best Morse code possible, accepting the fact that you're going to make mistakes. So that should be a lot of your focus. It's not on being perfect. It's about on trying to improve your fist, improve your sending, improve your comprehension when you're copying code and so on. And don't get bent out of shape if you make mistakes, because you will always make mistakes. There's always interference and so on when you're copying. I copied someone yesterday. We were doing an exchange. And fortunately, in that exchange, we send it twice. So, in my case, my location, my province twice, my name twice, and so on. And there was so much atmospheric interference that if we weren't sending everything twice, I probably wouldn't have copied it. But between him sending twice, I was able to get everything that I needed for the exchange. So accept the fact that sometimes conditions will make it pretty well impossible to get perfect copy. And again, you're going to make mistakes. Also, you need to know that there are lots of other operators out there at whatever speed you're at. So if you're less than 10, go look for operators who are less than 10. If you like 10 to 15 or 10 to 20 words per minute, look for those operators. They should be teaching you how to use the reverse beacon network. Not so much to see, is your signal getting out, which is what most people use it for, but to find other operators at your speed. Right? There's a way to do it. I've got videos on it. Other people have made videos on it as well. But we don't teach that. Now, I mention it and I show it in class when I can. But that's something a new operator has to know. Where can I go and find this? The most popular video I've made over the years was a very simple one. Where do you find slow speed Morse code? So obviously, all these different organizations, all these local ham clubs, they're not showing people where they can find slow speed Morse code to copy. So that's the type of thing, certainly you can do it on your own. And as I mentioned before, a lot of my videos are what I went through. So how to find slow speed Morse code, that's how it came about, because I went looking for it to figure out how to do it. We need to show the operators how to make a cheat sheet or a script. Is this going to become their Bible? No. But certainly at the beginning, to have a cheat sheet up there so that you know roughly what the other operator is going to be sending you, and you have an idea what you have to send back. It's certainly very helpful. POTA has a script that they follow. A lot of people use the word protocol instead of script. Call it whatever you want. Right? They have a script. This operator calls CQ. You do this. They say this. Then you do this. And then the other guy says goodbye. Right? There's a script. Straight Key Century Club has a script that they follow. Long Island CW Club has a script or a protocol that they follow. We need to teach you that, or at least show you where to find it. Anyways, that's just one more suggestion for you. Make a script. I've got some. I still have them. I put them up. I have them on a stand beside me. And on those occasions when I'm copying somebody and I'm writing everything down and then it's my turn to send and I get brain freeze and I go, uh-oh, what do I do now? I just sent BK. Where do I go from there? I can glance over at it and I go, oh, yeah, I'm sending the RST or I'm sending thank you or whatever it is. Show them how to make a script. Give them some scripts. It doesn't hurt. And it's only going to make that operator a little bit more relaxed. And the more relaxed they are, the more fun they're going to have, and the better the chances are they're going to stick with Morse code. All right, I've switched to my phone, so hopefully the audio and the video will be okay on this one. But I just want to show you, we're talking a script. So there's my computer. Here's a script. There it is there, SKCC Exchange, where I answer their CQ. And I've got it all laid out for me. Now what I do when I do the script, I tend to put what they would generally send in red, my answers in black, so I know exactly, what I'm sending.
It's there as a crutch if you want for those times when I just have brain freeze. Now up here in the corner, what I've done, I've written down the person I'm talking to. What's the basic information I need? I need their call sign. I need their name and location. And if it's SKCC, as you saw in that one, I need their membership number. So I've got the basic information I need. If I put that up there, when I see a blank, I can just fill it in. So it's very, very simple, very quick to do, and it's really easy. And if it's not an SKC exchange, just click into QRZ. You've got all that information there on the person. So a very easy way to do it. The stand, incidentally, yeah, it's nothing fancy. See if I can do this here. 1 sec. There, just a dollar store stand. All right. And I stick everything up on that. So there you go. So relatively simple. The script is there if I need it. My Morse code key, of course, is over there. So a little different location. But it gives you an idea. Simple little thing. But for a new operator who's sweating out those second, third, fourth, fifth contacts, makes a huge difference.
And certainly one of the biggest ones for me, my second time around, not my first time, but my second time, is how do we encourage people to keep at it after that big, first contact's out of the way? And then we say, go make contacts. You would be surprised, and again, I say it, it's repetitious, I know, the number of people who are ready to give up after 3, 4, 5 contacts because they're just having an awful time. Even with myself, the second time around, sure, there was stress. Did I care? No. I was just going to do it. And I did. And yeah, it wasn't pretty. But I did it, got it out of the way. My issue became, now what do I do? How do I force myself? Because it was forcing myself. How do I force myself to stay on the air and look for people to contact? Now, the SKCC became my way of doing it. All right, go in there, like I said, put my call sign up, QRS beside it. All sorts of people want to talk to me. I do the same with the SKCC now. I look for newer operators, slower operators who I know they're nervous. You send them a note, how many words per minute, and you don't get an answer. And then maybe 15, 20 minutes later, you get a tentative answer from someone. I'm okay if you want to try 5 to 8 words per minute. Okay, I'm fine with that. What did I do to make sure I stuck at it and that I didn't just say, I don't need the stress, I don't need the hassles? Very simple. I made a goal. I put it up on my wall.
Now we talk about getting motivation to continue and to proceed. So there's the ones I use there. Well, there's on the right, you could say actually a POTA script, but there's the two that did it for me. This is what got me through those next few contacts. 1 contact per day, in my case, SKCC, POTA, or LICW. It could be 2 contacts a day, 3 contacts a day, whatever works for you, and based on the number of minutes in the day that you can do this, obviously that's going to have an impact. But again, and you sit at your computer and you look at that, pretty hard not to make the effort. And over there was the one I got from Howard. There, don't let the code beat you. And over there again, for those moments when I pick up someone who I wasn't expecting to, maybe they are a FIS member or they're an SKCC member, and then the contact we made that wasn't obvious. If they asked for my number, I've got it there. I can just look up on the wall. Everything's there. So there you go. There's my computer. Can't miss staring at that every day.
All right, so to wrap this up, I just want to say that number one, we have to be careful that we don't so overemphasize that first contact that number one, we scare people away right at the beginning and they never do it. And number two, once they've done it, that they're not so stressed out that they think every call is going to be like that and they simply drop out and fade away. So those are a couple of points that I think are important. And I also think we need to look at what happens to that operator after they've done that. Well, certainly there were different organizations they can go to, but have we set them up properly for their journey? Because it is a journey, learning Morse code and beginning to enjoy it and appreciating it, and of course having fun with it. Contacts are out of the way. We know there are more contacts coming. Are they aware of what's going to happen? Are they aware of what they're going to have to do? We don't want to lose them. And I wonder how many we lose before they make, what, a dozen contacts, 20 contacts, 30 contacts, 50 contacts? How many amateurs take a year or more, year and a half, 2 years to learn Morse code, and then with a few months of getting their first contact, they're gone, and we never hear from them again? Anyway, some thoughts here, and I know a lot of the organizations out there are addressing some of these thoughts, so it's not aimed at them. It's simply my thoughts on what I see from people who talk to me. And of course, my focus in my videos is on the very new operators, so that's probably why I get a lot of these comments. But it is certainly something to think about. Why are we losing Morse code operators after they've spent all that time? And what can we do to ensure that they still want to stick around? And they want to do this not for a month or a year, for years down the road, decades down the road. Something to think about. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, or make a comment down below. Keith, Victor Echo 3, Sierra Victor, Quebec, wishing you all a great day. 73.